And I forgot to even take the card off, which is so unfortunate. But hi, everybody. Welcome on in. Thank you so much for dealing with me, and especially that last minute delay. I am super, super happy to be back on here. Hello, hello. So for those of you who are looking to check in for today, this is the link right here. And then for those of you who need to get caught up, I will also post a link to the GitHub super quickly so that you can go ahead and take a look at it. That is for name jar right on here. Perfect. So that is the GitHub link in the chat already, as well as the event link. So those are the two that you should hopefully need over there to generally be ready for the stream to get started and see what we're working on. So since we're on a little bit of a delay, I'm not going to waste too much time. I'm going to hop straight into name jar here and also hop into our tutorial project, which we did at first, to try and figure out how we wanted to do name jar. So if I share my screen here and open up my window, you'll see my tutorial project first. I'm also going to bring the music back on and swap this over to asking questions in the chat, and then also pop the music on so it can just play in the background nicely while we work. We'll do a lo-fi vibe. Or maybe we'll do this one. I like this one. And it'll just be on in the background while we kind of work and get stuff done here. So let's take a look. We have our edit destination view, our destination listing view, each individual site, a content view, as well as a destination object, right? So you have, so when we are actually going to modify name jar here, there's a couple of changes I want to make. Most importantly, we'll modify our rules in here. So we have our name list, right, which has titles and a name list. So going through this tutorial, right, we learned a decent amount of stuff about what we wanted to include within here. And I'm just trying to give myself some room so I can look at both things at the same time here, which is an impossible ask. Yeah, here we are. Just gonna also keep our eye on the chat. Beautiful. So let's see. Yes. Amazing. Cool. So let's go ahead and take a look here. For now, what we'll want to do is add a @relationship ship, and then delete rule is .cascade, and then var name list is an empty list of names to start. So title to string to start is empty, and then name list is empty as well. Don't think we even pass in a name list here. We just do title and string, right? Because there's already a default passed in. Hello. Beautiful. Let's see. And now we go into site, right? That is our name here. This is an at model var. So this does not need to be a final class. So it's class name with var first name being a string, right? And then self.name being name here. So now if I go into my content view, we would have private var let destination, right? So if I were to run this sample project, and I'm trying to remember what this looks like, if I pause it, the destination that is added on here, right? So we press the button and we go into the edit destination view. So instead of the detail, so yeah, there's a destination view and a destination listing view. This was the edit destination view. Cool. So for that, destination listing view, delete destination. That is to sort through the list. That's right. Okay, cool. So instead of building out this detail view in here and moving this to trash, I want to start in here with content view and work through a different layout. So we would have the model context here that will still be true, and then also a state private var path, which will equal to an empty set of name lists. Right, let me just make sure I'm sharing the right screen. Yes, I am. Lots of errors so far, but we'll get those fixed up. And then also create an at state private var sort order, which will be a sort descriptor, except not like that, a sort descriptor. And this will be / destination, not destination, name list dot title. Cool. Yes. Okay. And then also within that private var state. I don't know why that says that query. That needs to be at state. And then we also need an at state private var search text, which is equal to an empty string to start. Cool. So we have the environment variables and then the state variables. So in here in the body, we're going to go ahead and comment out a bunch of this stuff, or actually delete it because we have access to source control and GitHub here. We're just gonna go ahead and, start over here. Yes, I know I'm missing a return. So we'll create a navigation stack with a path being the $path here. And then the destination listing view, searchable, navigation title, navigation destination, toolbar. Okay, cool. So we want to have in here, we'll have a new file. It'll be a Swift UI view, and that will be a name list listing view. So the name listing view for now, we will edit that in a second, but I want to get the other code written down here first. So for the name listing view, I want to add the sort in sort order and the search text. Oh yeah, that is built into the extension is built into Swift now, which is awesome. Or not Swift, Xcode, which is honestly really helpful. And then .searchable text is $search text. Navigation title will be name jar. Then navigation destination will be for name list.self. The destination will be the edit name or the edit name list view. So once again, a new file from template, Swift UI view, and edit name list view. Let's hop that in here. Beautiful. So edit name list view. And then yes, .init. Cool. And then .toolbar. There'll be a menu for sort, system image, I believe is .arrow up, arrow down. So arrow .up, arrow .down. And then we have a picker, right, where we sort by the name, the text, or the description here. So let's get that over here. Except this is not destination, this is name list now, because we're no longer following the tutorial exactly. Name list.name, name list. Except we also don't have priority. So I don't think we need the picker. We'll just sort them alphabetically. So we can get rid of this section of the toolbar. And then we have the picker style inline and then a button called add destination, except it's not add destination anymore. It's add list. And then the action is add item. And not like that. Cool. And then for the edit name list view, it looks like to get this to work, we do need an add bindable var name list, which is of type name list. And I think that should work back in content view here. Then name listing view needs to also take in a sort descriptor. And a search string. But I think just a search string should work, mostly because we should not need an order. So if I go now into name listing view, I should be able to search string, and then sort should be just by sort description nameless.title. So sort descriptor of namelist, namelist, destination listing view. There is also a query for the var name list, which is of type namelist here. Thank you. Namelist here. And then yes, so we need to import Swift data up here to fix up this error. And then we'll also need the model context. Cannot consider that of name, that should be title. Cool. And then we have in here, right? Then finally we have all these errors resolved. We can go back through here. So now we have these errors that we need to resolve in our add destination. Instead of items, we are called path here. Cannot find model context and scope. That just sounds wrong. Private var model context. Oh, because it's private, even though it shouldn't be. Extraneous at top level. Okay. Probably because of one of these guys having an extra command. So let's do Control-Shift-I to refix the indentations. There we go. Perfect. Beautiful. Okay. So we've got more progress here. Next we need to do is look at our old add item, which is the incorrect add item. So we would now want to say let name list is equal to name list object model context dot insert name list, and then the path equal to the name list like so. Okay. So theoretically now if I went and launched this in preview with the canvas, let's close out of this section. I want the canvas. Made this slightly bigger so you could see both ends. Get this slightly smaller. And check on here. Okay, Anyway, going back to this stuff, missing parameter for the name list. Yes, so if I go in here and take a look at the edit name list view, right? I had a preview. So we want to let the preview work out here. So let the container and the config. Yes. Then I need to import Swift data here. Okay, cool. The config, so let the example, no exact calls to macro preview, that's fine. Okay, let container, then let example be equal to a name list, right, where the title is example, and then return, except it's not edit destination view, it's edit name list view destination example dot model container, and then catch the fatal error. It says failed to create model container here. Example do that should be name list dot self. Yeah, we're missing one closing brace here, which will also do it, or do catch. No, we're not. Interesting. Let's see. Let's see what we're missing. Edit name list view, findable var, state private var, new name, which is nothing. Form, text field name. This name, text, $, not destination, $, name list dot title. Then the sites, or in this case, well, not the sites, but the section for each name list dot names dot sites. So hold on. So priority. So that's in edit name list view. Our names. Yeah, cool. So then going back in here, text is site in name text is name dot first name. Cool. Cool. Text, and then the H stack. So it's under the section here. Add a new name to nameless.title. Text will be $new name. For action, it will be called add name here. So then I have a function that I would create called add name, in which I want to guard against the new name, empty, right? Make sure that the new name is false, otherwise, or the new name isn't empty. And then with the animation, go ahead and add in let name, just the name, first name is new name, and then let's see, name list dot name dot append new name, or name, not new name, and then new name is equal to empty now. Cool. So let's figure out these brackets, because that's the thing that's causing problems now. I think it's the brace locations are off. So you need to be here. And then okay, theoretically now, if I open this up, should be able to add a new name. There we go. So that looks solid. Yeah, and those get added up there, except for where it says sites still. I want to say that. I want to say names, right? And that's what that section will look like here. And the content view should theoretically now work, except why is it saying hello world? Because we haven't implemented name listing view here still. So yeah, okay, got it. So for content view, instead of delete items being in here, it'll go in there. So yes, name listing view, instead of saying hello world, we'll say that we should have a list of all name lists, or each name list query var name list name list in Okay, cool. We want to have a navigation link to the value name list. Okay, cool. Then a VStack with alignment dot leading. Let's check on the comments. We're good here. VStack with alignment dot leading. That says text is destination, not destination, my goodness. Text is name list dot name or dot title. And the font is the headline font. I'm at leading text. We don't need anything else in here except for fixing up this indentation. Actually, let's fix that super quick. Perfect. And then dot on delete. Below the for each, on delete, perform the delete name list function or delete name list function here. So we would write a function down here called delete name list with the index set. Except not destination, so set name list. Feed the name list at index. Model context dot delete name list. Cool. And then the search string, we are missing one brace here, I believe, or two. Two braces. Cool. And that looks good on that end. Let's see if it launches when we launch it on the simulator, whether it behaves how we want it to, and then whether we can pick a random name here, because that's the next goal. Except that's the wrong screen. I want to be able to share this screen instead, because this is the screen that we are installing the app onto. So we're going to take a look at this one in closer detail. Cool. So this is loading up, which is promising. Cool. So now we can add in a list, right? We can search. We can also add in a list that says my names and then say name, names shows up here, right? I can still add in more names. Help, right? And then I can also add a new list called other names, test, testing, and so on and so forth. Cool. So what I want to do now is implement it so that we can pick a name from this list, and then also pick a name from the section. I actually also want to, I think, actually add this H stack into this section and see what would happen here, right? So H stack, cut this through into this section, add in this H stack and see what would happen. And here, so add a new name. Maybe if I went with add to, that might make a little bit more sense. And as you can see, it's actually saving from version to version, right? Like all of the names that I added earlier, they actually saved dynamically, which is awesome. Cool. Let's go back to edit here and then share this screen and then close out the extra window because we don't need that anymore. Cool. So now what I want to do is pretty much, right? So we have the names we want to add to the example. I want to also have a new section called selections. And then I want to have, I think, either create a group or let's see. A couple of things I want to add. First thing I want to do is add name to the list when enter is pressed. So we'll try out that. And then for this next section, which I want to call selections, I want to make, I think first, H stack with some text. So that will be so this section will be for select one name, a random name from the list. Cool. So for that, we will have a button called select. And I think an action called select name and call it from there. So then we would have a function in here called select name. And then we would say, probably look at the name listing view and do something similar. Index set. So do for index in name list dot or what is the name list dot count. Yeah, sure. Name list dot title dot count. or no, nameless.names.count. So for I from 0 through nameless.names.count, not inclusive, I want to say let random name be equal to the name list dot names at a specific index. And then in here, we'll probably return a string, return random name. But that's a for loop. Why am I doing it as a for loop here? So random name dot string. Okay, yeah. So first of all, let index equal to random, right? Is random. How do you get a random int in Swift? Random in, cool. So that will be int dot random in from 0 all the way through name list dot names dot count. So then I want to let random name be the nameless.names.index and then return the random name, right? Except I want to return the string. Or actually, let's just return a name object instead. And then in here, cannot convert action. Or maybe instead we would use a state private var called random name, right, which is equal to nothing. Set, right, let random name is equal to the nameless.names.index. And then here, right, we would do a select name action instead, and then set the text to be the $, random name. Or string of $, random name. Something like that. Or $ random name dot first name. It's technically a string object. Or yeah, no, it should just be random name, right? Dot first name. Cool. Then we're setting random name up there to be that. And then in here, I'm saying the text should be equal to random name. Except I don't know if that should be $sign or not. Probably $sign. No, never mind. So not $sign, even though new name needs a $sign for some reason, but I'm not going to question it. Select, add a name, select a name. So do Control-Shift-I to fix the indentations here. So let me also add in a spacer. Random name. And see if this works. So if I open this up on the actual monitor, theoretically, should be able to get a random name. Okay, so name and help, that's not very helpful, but for this one, testing or testing, test. Perfect. If I now add in another name called sample, why isn't it letting me type? Come on. Okay, well, it was letting me type sample. Press add. Now, if I run this, theoretically, sample should come up as an option. Perfect. Okay, so that is selecting a random name from a list, which is great. Right, so we have an actual random name selection, except I want to show text field list name dot. Yeah, so that's the section. We'll go ahead and this is the list details, or list name is the list name with the text. Yep, then the names and then the actual selections. So random name. And then I think I want to, what I was thinking of doing with this is doing a random groups section as well. So potentially dividing these people up into groups if we have enough time. Let's pushed all of these changes up into GitHub. So cd name jar, git add all, git commit -m finished MVP, git push. Cool. So that is the initial big picture done. Let's see if we can come up with some other fun features to do. So we have potentially, we would be able to maybe consider adding swipe to delete for specific names, which I think could be worthwhile. So let's think about, right, functions. Deleting the name list. So, right, we have for each, right, on delete, perform delete name, and then potentially in here, right, create a function called delete name. And let's share this screen too, so we can show what we're doing here. So name list, right, the let name is name list. Yeah, so I think so perform So nameless.names name. So nameless.names at index and that delete name. Model context has no member delete. That is wrong, and I can tell you as much. We don't have the model context in here, I think, is the only issue. Let's make sure that that is in here as well. Cannot find delete name in scope because this is still called delete name list. So let's make sure that's renamed to delete name. And now theoretically, cannot convert environment model context name list. List view. Interesting. Cool. We have a question in the chat about what we are doing. We're making an iOS app for picking a random name from a list. Currently, I am trying to get it so we can delete a name from a given list. We kind of finished our MVP goals. So I'm going to try to debug this error that I'm seeing right now. Let's take a look. Cannot convert value. Is that what I'm saying? Model context to expected value of that. So let's paste this into here. This is for colors. So then we would do dot environment object, right? Pass in the model context, and for name list, set it equal to path. Yes. Interesting. Hi, just joined, was late. Sorry, I had a question. Is it mandatory to have Mac for iOS development, or do we have any virtual environment through which we can do it? if you can somehow emulate a Mac, or emulate compiling, like the iOS apps, then yes. But I have no clue how to do it, and I have not done it in quite some time. It's been at least a few years. So if her name was .self. So I don't have any like super helpful advice for how to do it. And it's never been easy. I don't know if it's gotten easier, but hold on. So this is .navigation destination for namelist.self, and the destination is edit namelist view, edit namelist view dot init. Let's move this toolbar further up just in case. Ambiguous use of toolbar content. Okay, let's comment this out. Okay, so the error is with this. Let's see what happens. I'm pretty sure without this stuff, I won't be able to click on any listing. Yeah. A navigation link is presented, but it's not available, right? So maybe if I comment out this model context here and then comment this back in. And then go back through all of these, right? Because earlier we had it working. So this is where it's working. And then .model context .delete name. So the content view still has parameters. So yeah, it's saying the name listing view, right? Search string search text. Edit nameless view .init is the only issue, I think, because of this at environment / model context var model context, which is interesting. But yes, they're saying that cannot convert. So now that it takes in environment model context. Yeah, so if I change the destination to edit name list view like this, they're saying .type. So insert the name list. And a new blank name list. Dot navigation destination with model with edits or with model context. So they're saying to use navigation path. Navigation issue of environment object, okay. Edit event. Let's try the dot navigation destination for for name list dot self name list in, and then go to edit name list view with the name list being name list, and maybe the model context being model context here. Try this, see if that works. Cannot convert of type model context. Okay, cool. Let's give that a stab on the big simulator. See what that looks like. So if I share this now, theoretically, I should be able to enter here and delete the names. Perfect. Got name deletion working. Awesome. Sweet. And do the names actually... So the names don't actually fully delete, which is interesting. Let's figure out why. Model context.delete name is still true. And model context.delete name list is still true. But why are the names not actually fully deleting? So if I delete sample, and I go back here, sample still exists. So name, nameless dot name index Model context. Delete name. So that doesn't fully delete, which is the only interesting part. Interesting. interesting. Let me try deleting namelist.names, like all of the names. Let's see what happens here. So this is an array of names. So let's try to delete the first name no matter what. So in theory, if I swipe through the first, oh, it's saved? So no matter which name I swipe, it should delete. Yeah, so it's not deleting the... It's not deleting the names, but it is. This is so interesting. Hold on. So my name's name, help, test, again, more. Let's try to delete this third name, right? So yeah, when I go back here, this looks good. Testing, right? I try to add it in. Oh, wait. Yeah, so as soon as I type something in, the name comes back. Testing, test 2, right? If I try to delete testing, yeah, as soon as, so it doesn't fully delete. So on delete, perform delete name. So let name. So what does their name listing view look like? Literally the same. So this delete is on the for each. This delete is on the for each, right? Yes. So delete from Swift data without model context. Environment, variables, and Swift data across multiple files. Now we have the model context, or this is the model configuration, model container, dot model container. So maybe dot model context. Give this a stab. Let's see if this works. Injecting that model context in here. Let's share this screen. Now if I try to delete my name, nope. Help again. Yeah. So for those of you who are wondering what's happening right now, if I add in a name, right? If I delete the name, it looks like the name's deleting, but actually if I actually try to delete it, it's not actually fully deleting. And you can see it, that it's not actually fully deleting. So I thought that adding in that shared model container would work. Mm-hmm. But to get the view to update, you have to first remove the object. Let's try this. So if I go in here, okay, cool. If I go in here, share my screen here, it's saying that potentially removing this. So not delete the edit named list view. So name list. So name list dot names dot remove. At index. So let's try this. So I've tried to remove from the variable at the index based on some research that I did super quick on this stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and kill this, restart it. Hopefully this works. Okay, wait. That worked. Okay, awesome. Okay, wait, this just worked. Awesome. Okay, good. So the fix was to add in that remove at for the index, and that worked. Okay, awesome. So let's push up these changes. Git add all, git commit -m, pushing, adding, removing, name removal, and let me just close out of this terminal window because that did not go well. CD, we just opened Android Studio, my bad. CD documents, CD name jar, git commit -m, name removal, yay, git push. Perfect, there we go. Okay, so you can check all of our super updated code and pretty much a finished project for the first time since I can remember. Sad that we did not get to do more stuff. Me being out for those extra little bit this afternoon definitely did not help. But if you would like to take a look at the repository and see all of my updated changes and give it a star or whatever, you can go ahead and find it right on NameJar. That's the official repository. I will catch you in GHW AIML up in February. I think it'll be really fun. We will build some cool stuff, I'm sure. Oh, actually, speaking of, come to my mini event tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern time. We're playing Tetris. And then if you are looking for something to do between now and 6 p.m. tomorrow, may I personally recommend going to Alberto's stream, which is coming up in an hour, Intro to Front End with JS, and then his mini event, Tetris, also Tetris. Oh, I'm doing Gartic Phone, not Tetris. Change of plans. I thought I was doing Tetris. Never mind. I'm doing Gartic Phone. Alberto is doing Tetris. Either way, you can catch me from 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. You can catch Alberto in an hour running front end with JS, and then in 3 hours running the Tetris mini event. So that'll be fun for y'all, I'm sure. All right, 3 hours, 4 hours? 4 hours? 3 hours. I don't know. Time is a blur. Anyway, I'm going to give you another last minute to ask me any questions that you have. If there isn't anything, then I will see you in the next one. Like I mentioned, either for my mini event tomorrow or at Global Hack Week. And that'll be it. Last call for questions. Last call, my friends. Alrighty, if there isn't anything, I'm going to thank you all yet again very much for watching. Loved hanging out with you today, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye. Hold on. That was meant to be cooler, but bye.